Well, today I'm really excited to talk to you guys about a product that its appeal goes way beyond the electricians. And so that is the voltage continuity tester. So now a voltage continuity tester is the first meter owned by electricians and HVAC technicians when they go into trade school. What makes these so great is two things. So first, it gives them the most common testing functions that they're going to need when they're out in the field. So testing voltage, so getting how much voltage you have present. The continuity test, which is really just, are your wires connected properly? Very, very simple test that a lot of electricians will use. But the second piece to this tool is that it's designed to be super simple and super easy to use. So perfect for somebody who's going into a training school. But for those exact two reasons is exactly why this product appeals to a much broader user base. So if you talk about the remodeler who's doing, you're finishing your basement or doing a kitchen renovation where they get into some electrical applications. Or if you think about the automotive guy who needs to check for continuity from wire to wire or needs to test the battery that's inside of the car. If you think also about all the low voltage equipment that's getting installed today, so security systems, fire systems, lighting systems, a tool like this is very, very handy for a lot of users outside of that electrician. But there's a problem. So how many of you guys today, how many of you guys use a mercury thermometer? Anyone? We got one. Old school. I like it. It's good. It's okay. How many of you guys have the bedside clock that's got the two bells on top and the hammer that goes in between it? Okay, cool. So we got one.
Mickey Mouse, yeah.
So there's things that have happened during our lifetime. It's kind of similar to the digital revolution, right? Things that are using an LCD screen are some of the best ways of getting information from a tool. So what we've got set up here. So what we've got set up here is basically a mock setup of a traditional voltage continuity tester and the new Milwaukee Auto voltage continuity tester. And when we set out to develop this product, we wanted to accomplish one thing, and that was to make this simpler. We weren't going to change the functionality of it, but we really wanted to make this simpler for the user. So kind of what we just talked about is digital readout screens. So it's the easiest way to get information from something. So why are we still tolerating something that leverages old technology? So the traditional voltage continuity testers have not kept up with the user needs. And so by simply dropping in an LCD display into the meter, we can give users the best feedback from the tool, something that we're accustomed to in our daily lives with the digital readout screens. But something that this also does actually goes a little bit above and beyond that. So when we talk about looking at different voltages and different systems, as I turn down voltage or turn up voltage, you can see that you're very much limited by the preset voltages that's on a voltage continuity tester. So you're only going to be allowed to test a very broad range of measurements. Whereas when you have a digital output, you can get exact measurements down to a decimal place. And so what this allows the user to do is it allows them to get much more visibility to electrical issues that are going on in their system, and allows them to troubleshoot better. And so incorporating the LCD screen is really a simple thing, but it delivers a big, impactful improvement on what electricians and various users have been using today. Now the second piece to this is the portability. So all electricians, all users of meters are challenged with the fact that you've got a meter and you've got two test leads, but you only got two hands. And so how do you solve that when you need to be holding all three things at once? So there is no voltage continuity tester on the market today that has any sort of accessory compatibility, none whatsoever. So in our voltage continuity tester, we actually give you a belt clip. So if you're going to be going in and installing outlets or doing a lot of various work in between taking measurements, it's a great way to have that tool right on your belt. But for an electrician, where it really gets neat is the magnet mount. So a lot of times you're going to be faced with working on a metal cabinet, or if you're an automotive guy, if you're working around the hood of the car. So there's a lot of applications for how to mount this when you're doing this type of work. And so again, we pride ourselves in knowing the user better than anybody out in the industry. And these are great examples of really listening to what is happening in the space and providing the user need that they are looking for in a product. So We're going to switch it over here to Brian. He's going to talk about another new tool that we've got that addresses a growing trend that's happening in the space as well for you guys to listen to. So, Brian?
So non-contact voltage detectors are the #1 most commonly owned tool in the test and measurement category. If you look at electricians, HVAC technicians, or facilities maintenance contractors, they're not just going to own one of these, they'll own 3 to 5. So commonly purchased, commonly owned, but they're not just owned by them. They're owned by anybody who will ever work near or around live electrical, just so they can make sure, hey, is this live? Okay, it is, so I need to be careful around these things. So the span of non-contact voltage detectors is a lot broader than just electricians and HVAC technicians. So what they do is they detect voltage. Our standard non-contact voltage detector detects 50 to 1,000 volts AC. So that's going to be everything from electrical outlets, a lot of breakers, panels, motors, lighting, real common stuff that I see all over the place. But what we've seen recently, and I'll show you a demo, so this is just sort of how it works. If you put it near the wire, it'll flash red and start beeping. So what we've seen is there's some industry trends taking place that are driving growth of systems that operate on voltage that's less than 50 volts. And it's that 10 to 49 volt range. What runs on that is a lot of HVAC systems and controls, LED lighting, and security and entrance systems. And with the trends currently happening with LED lighting and HVAC systems and environmental trends, they're really going to continue to drive the growth in these control systems in low energy markets. So what we've done is we've taken our standard voltage detector, which detects 50 to 1,000 volts, and we're now introducing the Milwaukee 10 to 1,000 volt dual range voltage detector. So this voltage detector will detect 10 volts to 1,000 volts AC, but it not only detects that, it separates it. It differentiates the two ranges. So as I'm trying to detect, I have a 24 volt control signal running from this thermostat right now. If I try to detect it with my standard voltage detector, I'm not going to get it. If I'm going over my transformer, I see it. With my dual range voltage detector, I'll get a yellow tone and a beep. So I can tell we have voltage there, and voltage here. And then if I want to check the standard voltage, I can do that as well. So I have red here, and I'll get red down here on the motor as well. So I don't have to sacrifice any of the capability of my standard voltage detector, and I can detect more now. As well, it also has a built-in LED work light. So guys will carry these around in their pocket all day. Even if they're not trying to use it as a flashlight, there's a lot of times where it comes in handy just having that work light. So we're the only dual range voltage detector that can light up, detect, and differentiate automatically. And what that means is it's a single button. All you have to do is turn this thing on. So it doesn't matter if you're a master electrician or some second term apprentice, you'll be able to operate this tool. Any questions before I wrap it up? All right, so we're going to go from this tool that, like I mentioned, is something that can be used by anybody who works on or around electrical systems, to our next meter that can be used by anybody who uses a tape measure.